What's going on, guys? You'll never guess who this is. Well, I'll let you guess anyway. I have an issue with the fence that I need to get put up in my friend's house. Mrs. Thomas came on this measurement. She's going to tell you some more about the project. But we just need to make sure that we cover the entire yard and we have enough material to do what we need to do. So please, help me out.
All right, Ian. So, yeah, he's trying to help his friend Trevor because Trevor needs, some help with his fence. And Trevor heard that you guys did such a great job with our house that he wants you to help him out here. So, with fencing, do we need area or perimeter? Because that's what we're talking about today. So, with area, we need the measure of the outside or inside. We need the measure of the inside. So is that going to be what we're going to use for fencing? No, because I'm not going to put a fence all in this space right here. It's just not gonna work right. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to use the outside of the fence area. Okay, so here is where I would be putting the fence for Trevor. So let's say that his fence is going to need to be 20 feet wide, or 27 feet wide, sorry, by 15 feet wide. Okay. So if you're given these two measurements, you know the other sides that we need. So here, would it be 27 or 15? It would be 15 feet. This side would then be 27 feet. Because remember, this side is the same as this side. And the same for these two, because this is a rectangle. Rectangles have opposite sides that are the same length. But not necessarily all of the sides are the same length. That's a square. So, looking here, in order to find how much fencing we're going to need to help Trevor with his yard, we need to do what with these numbers? Are we going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? We're going to be adding. So what I have to do is I have to add 27 plus 27 and 15 plus 15. Now I can do that and I can have my equation as 27 plus 27 plus 15 plus 15 is going to equal the perimeter. Or I can do it this way. I can say 2 times 27 plus 15 times 2 equals the perimeter. Okay? Now this is the formula that you're going to see on your reference sheets. Okay? But you can also do this way. Alright? So here I have 27 plus 27. 27 times 2. Now, you're going to want to actually write this out so that you don't make a mistake. Okay? So, 7 times 2 is 14. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1, because remember, any number that you carry to the next place value, you have to add onto the product of the two numbers that you already multiplied. If you need help remembering about multiplication, I have a multiplication video that's uploaded that you can go ahead and look at. So then I have 54. Okay, so I have 54 feet here that I'm going to be adding to 15 times 2. Now you can do this the same way that you did 27 times 2. Or if you know what the answer is, you can go ahead and put it. And 15 times 2 equals 30. And when I add these guys together, 54 plus 30, that's going to equal 84. Now remember that it's not square feet. Perimeter is just regular units. Okay, so the perimeter is 84 feet. Okay? Now, let's say that in this space that Trevor had fenced, let's say that he needs some new grass down, but he's not going to use seed like we did. He wants to use sod, which is basically pieces of grass that have been cut out of the ground and get placed into a new spot. Looks very nice. So he's going to do that, but he needs to know the space and how many square feet he has so that he can put down the correct amount of sod. So for that, we're going to need to use area. Okay? Alright, so remember that perimeter is the measure of the outside. Okay? But since we're trying to find how much sod that he needs, we're going to need the measure of the inside, which for us is going to be here. Okay? So all of this. That's going to be our area. Now, when we are doing area, we're going to need to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. What are we doing? We're going to be multiplying. Remember that multiplying with area, you're doing your length times the width. Okay, this is how it looks on your reference sheet. But all you have to do is put a little X right there so that you remember that it's length times width. So for us, we have 27 times 15. Now again, if you need help with double-digit multiplication, you're going to need to go back to that video on multiplication and then get your review in. You can come back right here and you're fine. But if you're good, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply. Alright, so the area here, whenever you multiply 27 times 15, the area is going to be 405 square feet. Okay, so here we're going to write the area is 405 square feet. Now remember, there's two ways to write square feet. You could either write it this way, feet with the little 2 above it, or you can write 405 square feet, and actually there's 3 ways, because you can actually write out square feet. Okay, so if you didn't want to use the shortened version, or if you saw this version somewhere on a test or out in a store, because remember, this is something that you're going to use in your lives, so you need to make sure that you practice. So either one of those 3 ways will work for you to be able to write down your answer. Okay, so that's how we find perimeter and area. Okay, so I'm going to write it up here too so you guys can see that. 405 square feet. Okay, so here is our first word problem. It says Jason built a rectangular tool shed that is 8 meters wide and has an area of 96 square meters. What is the length of the shed? Now, this is one of the problems that you are given the area already. Okay, so you have your area and it's 96 square meters. Okay, but what we're going to need is we're going to need to find the length of the shed, and the width of the shed is 8 meters. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle because it says a rectangular tool shed. Okay. And then it says that the width is 8 meters. Okay. 8 meters. And we need to find the length. We don't know what that is, so I'm going to put X. Okay, because it's an unknown. The area is 96 square meters. Okay. So in order to find the length, remember that area, the formula for area is length times width. And remember, when you see it like this, you just put a little X right there to remind yourself you're multiplying. So you have length times width. Now, if you are given the area, so for us that's 96, it's going to equal 8 times something, and that something right now is X, and you're not supposed to use X as an unknown, so we're going to change that to A, okay, because that's a little too confusing for us right now. So we're going to use 8 times A. Now, in order to find what A equals, we're going to need to divide, because I don't know off the top of my head what number times 8 is going to equal 96. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to do 96 divided by 8. So I see 9 divided by 8. 9 is more than 8, so I know I can do that at least once, and in this case it is. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract, I have 1 left over. Bring down my 6. 16 divided by 8, I can do that twice because 8 times 2 is indeed 16. So, sweet, I have nothing left over. Now, they are not going to give you on the FSA or on any test that I give you, they're not going to have any remainders. So if you get a remainder, something went wrong. Go back and double check. So A is going to equal 12 meters. Okay, so the length of the shed is 12 meters. That's it. You're done. Now, here's the thing though. What if they then ask you for the perimeter of the shed? This is the same problem. Okay? Same problem as here. I just have a different question. This is what is the length of the shed. This one is asking for the perimeter of the shed. Now, it is the exact same process. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy everything over from the other page and put it here. So again, we took the area and we divided it by the known side, which was 8. And we have the unknown side now being known at 12 meters. So what we now need to do is we need to find the perimeter. Okay, so remember that our equation is 2 times length plus 2 times the width. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to multiply 2 times 8 and then add that to 2 times the width, which is 12. So 2 times 8 is 16 and 2 times 12 is 24. When I add those two together, I get the number 40. So I have 40 meters of the tool shed for our perimeter. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at another problem. A rectangular playground is 8 meters wide. It is 3 times as long as it is wide. What is the area of the playground? Now this question here is a 2-part question. The first thing that we have to do is we have to find out how long the playground is. It doesn't tell us exactly, but we have to find that out. And it says to find how long it is, it says it is 3 times as long as it is wide. It's 8 meters wide. So if it's 3 times as long as that, we're going to be doing 3 times 8. Now let me do another rectangle so that we can see that nice and clearly. Okay. So here we have 8 meters wide, and the length is 8 times 3 because it is 3 times as long as it is wide. And so 8 times 3 equals 24. So it is 24 meters long. Now what it's asking is what is the area? So 24 is not the answer. So what we have to do, hang on. Sorry about that. What we have to do now is we have to find the area because that is what they're asking us to do, is to find the area. It's not about the length of the side. If it was, then the answer would be 24, but it's not. So for area, remember that what we have to do is we have to do length times width. So we have our length, which is 24. And we have our width, which is 8. So we need to multiply these two guys together. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 3 is 19. So the area, which is, remember, all of the inside here, is 192 square meters. Okay. And that's how you find the answer to that. It's not just 24. 24 is just the first part. When you have multi-step problems, you need to do both steps. Not just do one step and then say, oh, okay, I'm done, it's 24. Because that's just the length. Then you have to find the area by multiplying the length and the width. Alright? So those are my examples. I have a couple for you to do on your own. Okay, I actually have a couple for you. Alright? So I have 3. Here's this one. Okay? So what I want you to do is go ahead and read it, find what you need to know, solve it, and then when you're done, come on back. Alright, so here's your next problem. Now, this is technically a 2-parter. It's similar to one that I just showed you. So you're going to have this one, which is going to ask you for the area of the patio. Okay? When you're done, go ahead and come back. For right now, pause it, do this. Sorry, let me rephrase. This is part 2. Here's your first part. This is the rectangular patio. Now you're finding the area. So sorry about that. So, this is what you're doing when you're done. Come on back. And here's your last one. So, when you're done, go ahead and put this somewhere where you can bring it back into class. And I will get you your Baki Bucks as soon as you get it to me. Thanks so much.
Don't forget. Bye.